Hi everybody, Giselle Grenier here from ArtPlace.ca. So with the launch of the new 365 Art a Day project, I thought I would show you some really easy ways to make some journals. That way, if you don't want to really work on pieces but you want to keep something organized, this is a great way to do it. You don't need to know anything about bookbinding. This is a little one that I'm going to be working on, and I must say that once I did my first piece, I regret doing it this way. And you can see from the video that I did on YouTube, it was a little bit hard to handle because it was a little bit wider. I now wish that I would have gone to this, but there's no reason why I can't switch to this. And I'm going to show you something in here. So this is done with a Coptic stitch, and I will have a video done. I am going to do a video for how to do a small version of this book. I do have videos on my blog that I have a playlist that shows the Coptic stitch with a hardcover, without a cover, and you can follow that, but I thought I would do something specifically for this size. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. Now, going back, which is unrelated to this project, I wanted a way to do bullet journaling, and bullet journaling is just a way of planning out your day, and the the founder used he just used like a notebook. Then going from there, people were using Midori's, which is like a traveler's notebook, and I really liked how that worked. Although it's very small, I thought, why couldn't I modify it? Like Midori's are really, really expensive. Like they're the Cadillac of planners. They're very expensive, but they're full leather and everything. And I'm not into leather. I prefer, I could use. I like using stuff I already have to recycle. So I have a whole bunch of stuff sitting in a bin, and I thought I would use that. So, essentially, what a Midori is basically just something wrapped. You've got a cover, you have a band that goes across the whole piece, and now I'm going to explain this in a little bit later. This is going to be like what not to do. And it's held by elastics, and the journals, I've got 3 in here, and they're held together by these elastic bands. And you can see the three booklets here. Okay, so put that over there. And taking it apart, that's it. Okay, so you just have a piece of fabric, and you have 2 pieces of elastic on the book, and then 1 piece of elastic to bind the pieces together. Now this is happening because I put a fabric stiffener on here, and I didn't let it dry, so everything stuck together. Okay, so, and then I also had some where I put the fabric stiffener on. This is unprimed canvas. I cut the canvas, then put the fabric stiffener on it, and it shrunk. Another mistake. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the actual signatures. Then I'm going to show you how to assemble this. But it's so easy, to put it together. So all you do is you take your one book. I'm even going to show you how to do the stitch. So you just fit it in this way. Okay. Then you take one booklet this way, the other booklet in the center this way. Take your elastic. I'm going to show you how to measure up the elastics as well. And you wrap it around. That's it. And you've got the elastic that goes in the middle. I'm going to show you how to do that. Here's your journal. That's all there is to it. So, the different now this is basically a traditional type. Like the traditional Midori is much smaller. You can get them different sizes, but what I did is I just took vinyl and then fabric stiffener, didn't let it dry. Then I took the unprimed canvas, which is not primed or anything, and then I put my little booklets in that. And this is 140-pound fluid watercolor paper, and Curry's, the art store that's in downtown Hamilton. I believe I haven't seen it. They just start carrying the large sheets. So that's again same thing, and I'm elastic. I have, now these are the ones that are modified. Let me just put that aside. Okay, so here's another one. This is primed canvas. I had scraps of primed canvas that's primed on one side with gesso, much larger. Okay, white elastic on the outside, black elastic inside. Who cares? Then I made another one. Now this is one that the actual cover had shrunk a bit, so it takes me a little bit to kind of finagle. I don't care myself, but when we go to talking about the cover, I'll explain all that after. Okay, then you know I like eyelets, and I did one with eyelets, and I didn't want to go out and buy a Japanese screw punch because I didn't want to pay them money to have it imported, and I have no idea how or why I found it. I went into Michael's on something completely unrelated. I was looking for a black pumpkin, and I went in through, I always go through the dyes section, and I found one. It's a Martha Stewart line, and with the coupon, I mean, I think it was like $25 or something like that, and it was going to cost me twice as much if I had actually brought it in. So I'm sure it's, you know, it's not, I don't know if it's what's called authentic. It does work, and it works quite well, and I just have to learn about the pressure. But then that, and I was able to put in my eyelets. And then with the eyelets, for those of you that have the, I think they're called the big mouth crocodile, you'll be able to get the eyelets in here. I had to really finagle. I had to do it by hand in here because my little crocodile wouldn't reach. And as well with the primed canvas. Now this is canvas I bought at the art store primed. It's cracking here. So I will never buy this again. I will always prime my own. So these are the traditional style. It's the one elastic, holds 3 booklets. Now for my purpose, I will call each booklet a signature, because for those of you that are making your journals, we do know that this is a signature, and a signature is comprised of a bunch of folios, and a folio is simply a folded piece of paper. So if you really want to get into making your own journals, it's nice to know what the terms are in case you watch other YouTube videos and you don't understand. So these are the typical Midori style. Okay, then of course you know that I have to kind of do everything beyond. I wanted mine to hold more. So what I did is I added multiple elastics that let me hold a lot more. Now this one here is an expandable to show you how full you can have it. And these booklets, signatures, can all be taken out. And these are ones that I took a bunch of different types of papers. I made some folders there. So I've got, let's see, I've got drawing paper, watercolor paper. This is acrylic paper, and then this is what? More drawing paper. I think I've got some watercolor paper in there. And then what I have here is I've got some backgrounds that I've already done up, and these are all individual booklets or signatures. Okay, so I can take them out and work on them and put them back, or just work on them right in here. And I wanted to see how big I could make this, and that was the purpose of this exercise. Okay, so you can do it with just a single elastic or a bunch of them. And so this is one. Now you're seeing this a little ahead of time, but so with the project, with the day one painting I did today, I had done it on this, and I was having so much trouble, and you can see from the video that when I put it on my desk, it made a beautiful star book. It's kind of cool. All right, so I thought, well, I'm going to time it to see what it would take to do it in something a little bit larger. And you know what? This took the same amount of time to do as this, because of all the time I was fussing with this was nothing. But this was my challenge on working small, because I was never able to work small because of the condition of my eyes, but the eye doctor fixed me up. So to put this in, we just take the elastic, put it in, and there we go. And that's all there is to it. Okay. Voila. Wrap that around. So to get started, first we need some papers. Now, the stitch doesn't really matter. I did this with a saddle stitch. The one I'm going to show you is going to be a pamphlet stitch, which is because it's so easy. If you don't want to sew it, if you have a stapler, you can staple it. No big deal. Okay, so I'm going to fold that up. And then you can also make it in a small size. Now, this is all scraps of watercolor paper, and I absolutely love the deckled edge. All scrap watercolor paper. And what's ideal about using multiple elastics, because this water paper, this stuff here is 300 pounds, I can't make these signatures more than 2 or 3 folios per signature because it's so thick. Okay, it won't fold properly. So what I did, I'm going to explain this again. I ended up misting it with water, folding it, and I put everything in a press, which would also dampen this, and this helped the form to stay. I'm not a professional bookbinder by all means. Okay, don't get me wrong. There's professional companies that do this. Myself, I do what I want, so it looks the way I want and functions the way I want and customize it the way I want. And all I'm doing is sharing with you what I did. So maybe you can pick some ideas out of here. And for those of you that have followed me on YouTube, you know that I go into a lot of detail. My videos are a little bit longer than normal. So those of you that are experienced with making your own journals, you can just click fast forward. Okay, let's put that aside. I was able to make a dozen of these in an afternoon. It was amazing. You don't need a lot, but I'm going to show you some things that you can do to save money. So this is a journal I made, a long stitch style with all my signatures. I trimmed the paper down. It's just a primed canvas, and it is absolutely beautiful. Like, I love this. This was actually stitched using the long stitch or a running stitch. It depends on what you want to call it, but I stitched the booklet right into the cover, and this took quite a while to do because you have to make sure that you measure everything, and one stitch got loose. Doesn't matter to me, but this takes a lot of precision. Whereas if you do it this way, you get more bang for your buck if you're not so concerned about what your journal looks like. I already made up 2 signatures, so I'm going to go ahead to show you how easy this is. The easiest way is you just take a pad of 9x12 paper. What paper you use is up to you. It's your favorite paper. Okay, you use whatever you want. I use a combination of the Strathmore mixed media paper, a lot of Strathmore product. But when I want to do something that's, if I have like a really fine journal where I want to keep everything, this paper is not based on cotton. Okay, cotton rag is what you want to use to make it archival. And then that's where I go to my Stonehenge paper. Okay, so again, so if my papers look a bit odd throughout all the journals, they look kind of funny, it's because I've mixed some Stonehenge in with some Strathmore and some fluid paper, some Arches, and the Daler Rowney one. I'm lost what the name of their paper is. So I did it to experiment. But this is the best way. You simply take your sheet, okay, tear it out. Okay, that wasn't hard. And then if you have a scoring block, you can score it in half, but this, you don't need to score it. You can get away with just folding it right in half. Now, if you have cardstock, that'll work as well. You should burnish it. Okay, burnishing is actually flattening this crease, and I have burnishing tools. You don't need to go out and spend the money on that. You can use a pen. A pen will do the same. A ruler. I used to use scissors until I actually jabbed myself in the wrist, so I won't do that anymore. But again, you don't have to go out and buy a burnishing tool unless you're going to make a whole bunch of journals. There's your folio. You do a few of these, nest them together inside, and then you have your signature. So the 140-pound paper, depending on how well you burnish it and whether it's cold press, hot press, and that's the smoothest of the paper, you may be able to get 2, 3, or 4 signatures to work with, to bind together. Okay? And I prepared some in advance. So with these ones here, I just did 2 because this is This is I don't know. This is a mixed media paper. I don't know who it's from. And this is I think this one's a watercolor paper. Again, different kinds. And I'm just using a pamphlet stitch. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I took the 2 sheets, folded them in half. Okay, put them aside, fold them in half, put aside. And I have one that's not made. Put that aside. You can see they're different colors. Doesn't matter. To stitch them together, and you don't have to stitch them, you can staple them if you want. Okay, if you've got one of those long mouth staplers, you can just staple it. If you can go to Staples and do that, or your local copy shop to do that if you want. But to stitch it, it's really easy. Like most of you probably already have needle and thread, right? So this is actually linen thread, and it's very expensive. You don't have to use this. My favorite cord is from Lee Valley. For those of you that are Hamilton area, you probably know what Lee Valley is, and you can go to leevalley.com and get it. This is a waxed cord, and this is what I use for binding. But I wanted to kind of go to the point of, well, not everybody can get to Lee Valley. You can use embroidery floss. You can use, some people have used dental floss, but it should be waxed because it helps the thread remain so it doesn't kink up, and also when you do your knot, it holds together. Now I found this nifty little, it's called Dazzle It, and it's a block of wax in a little holder. You don't have to do something this fancy. You can use a candle, but all I did was I ran the thread through like this, like that. Okay. If you have beeswax, that would be good too. Okay, so it's just a regular needle. And I have, here, see my fancy needle holder? I've got quilting needles and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. The actual bookbinding needles, they are expensive. I prefer the cost of the package for this, a quarter the price is the price of these curved ones, which are even better. Okay. And we need something to punch the holes and to measure. So we can measure this, that, and the other, or we can make a template. So if you take a piece of paper and measure it the height of your paper, okay, and so let's just pretend that this is the height of the paper. Is it the height of this one? Yeah, so it's this one here. So you measure the height. I like using grid paper for this, and then fold it in half. That'll be your center crease. And then take your page, fold it in half again. Okay. Then take each half and fold that to the center. Okay, and that'll give you 3 crease marks, and that's where you're going to have your 3 holes, and that's your template. And then you can put it, line it at the top, and I made a line here to match the fold here, to match the fold here, and then you can make a mark with a pencil. Okay, and that's where you're going to punch your hole. Because all that's showing is the inside stitch, it's not that important. So you can even eyeball it, it doesn't matter. But what I like to do is just take a ruler and say, okay, when I do my stitches, I want to go 1 inch from the edge. Okay, and like for these ones here, we need to punch 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. So if we go 1 inch from the edge, and let's say we go 2 more inches in here, and 1, 2 more inches here. That's it, we're done. And then where I made that mark, I'm just going to make a little cross so it's right in the middle. I know exactly where to punch. Okay. And you can, I can do the 2 at a time. Then you can put binder clips and all that stuff. It's only 2, so I'm not too worried about it. You can use an awl. This is from the store for actual bookbinding. You can take a nail. You can, this needle's a bit fine to do that, but you can also use that. But all I do is I just take it on a mat and just, okay, and it punches right through. All right. To sew it, this is the easiest part. Now this stitch I'm going to use is a stronger stitch because the pages are thicker. If you did it as a 3 hole, okay, you're going to come in from the outside. So your needle's going to come through here. You're going to go in through here. The needle's going to come out. You're going to go into the third hole in. You're going to come out, put it through, and then you're going to tie a knot. Okay, and I have this, I did make a journal. I have that on my YouTube channel, how to do that. So I'm not going to repeat it, but I want to show you how to do this stitch, which is a stronger stitch. And I'm going to go from the outside. It doesn't matter what side. Okay. And I'm going to leave a tail. And I'm going to go into the next hole. Oh, and how much thread to cut? For this stitch, 2 lengths. So measure 1, 2, and I always cut off a little bit extra. Okay. So it came from the outside, through, in, through, into the next hole. Out the next hole. And at this point, I want to make sure that it's snug. Not too tight. Okay. Now I'm going to go back. So I've gone in, out, in, out. Now I'm going back through the next hole. So I'm going into, so where this stitch went in, I'm going into that same hole. And I'm going into this hole. And then here. Just going to tie it. That's it. Now see with the wax how it's holding, holding the knots, holding itself. It's not strong, it's just holding itself so it doesn't get all oosey goosey and all over the place. And I like to make 3 knots. Everything's in 3s. And then cut it. Uh-oh, did I bring my scissors down? Uh-oh. Oh, there they are. And always, you have kitty cats in the house, always put your stuff away. Okay. And these little threads too, make sure you throw them out as well. That's it. Done. Okay. So you'll need 3 of those. Now if you're using cardstock, that's fine. Okay, so you just fold them in half, either staple or sew them together, doesn't matter. If you're just going to use a 3-stitch, okay, so with your 3-stitch, you're going to go in from the outside, in the middle hole, out, through the hole here, the needle's going to come out, you're going to go all the way here, to the top hole, through, come out, go back in, out, and tie a knot. So what it looks like this. That's wrong. It goes it goes in this way. So you're going in, out, you can go in, out, and this way and tie it here. Or you can come out from the back, you're coming out here. You can go here, then through the back, you go all the way around, then come in and through here, and then you tie it here. It's just, all you're doing is binding all 3 together. Okay? But again, look at the video I have on YouTube. It's so much easier than what I just demonstrated. To cut a cover, I mean, you can just use these as they are. Okay? But a cover, and this was one that I had cut. I had cut the unprimed canvas 1/4 inch larger on the top and bottom, and then I applied some Deco Art fabric stiffener, which is phenomenal, but it shrunk. Well, did I panic? Oh no, I didn't panic. I just basically cut my signatures down because this was the last one, and this was the one I thought, oh, I'm going to cut it first because I'm so smart and I want to save some time. And then this one I set it larger to show you how to do the fold over. So what you want to do is, so you're going to cut if you're going to use stuff like this, apply even a matte medium or decoupage medium or fabric stiffener if you want. And the part with the fabric stiffener, I'm putting that on the inside. Okay, because the part that's unprimed here, I want to reserve that for painting later. So what you do is, regardless of the fabric you use, you can use denim, anything. So you're going to cut it about 1/4 inch larger. And if you're buying denim at the fabric store, cut the piece much larger. Okay, cut it all and then wash it first though, so it has time to shrink. So about 1/4 inch. And then what you're going to do is then just mark where the spine is here, just from the 1/4 inch part, just, come here and make a mark. Leave about a 1/2 inch here. And what this is going to do is going to allow room for the other journal to go here. Okay? So 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Then I'm going to come in about a 1/2 inch to make my mark. All right? And the measurements are so easy. Measure about a 1/2 inch from the edge here. From here to here is an inch. 1/2 inch in. Then from here to here is an inch. And this is the smack dab center. That's it. Okay, and I just marked it with a graphite pencil. I also went with the awl and I poked holes. And be very careful when you do this. Okay, poked holes. Okay. And this is the fun part. This is all that holds it together. Now I lost one. Oh, there it is. I went on a mission to look for, and I found this white stuff, and it's in a little package. H.A. Kidd and Company. So you can get this for those in the Hamilton area, Toronto, like Ontario, Fabricland. Well, here in Hamilton, anywhere on Ottawa Street, you can get that. And I believe Walmart carries that to Target. I don't know. And I got this elastic, but I wanted something in black. So Joe says, well, let's go to Lens Mill. So went to Lens Mill, and I got this, 35 cents a yard. Now, I don't know if that's expensive in the States, but 35 cents a yard. I love it because it's the perfect thickness. The white one is a bit thick. This is absolutely perfect. Now, I've already cut mine, but I'm going to show you how to measure it. The first one that you need 3. You need one that's going to wrap around the journal. Okay? And all you do with that, take all your 3 signatures, and you're going to take your elastic, and you're going to measure. Okay? So you're going to take your elastic, and you're going to, the elastic will be long. And what you want to do is you want to have it where it's tight, so you can easily take it, wrap it around the book. Okay? So that's actually pretty good. Okay, so you're going to snip to cut that length. You're going to put that aside. That's the last thing that we do. Then we need something to join 2 books together, which is going to be this one. So you're going to take your elastic and you're going to wrap it around. So you're going to take 2 of the books, open to the center, face them back to back. Okay, so you look like that. And then you're going to go like that with your long elastic. This could be a little bit awkward. Okay, then you're going to wrap it around and you're going to have the same tension, about like that. Don't cut it too short because we need to make a knot. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. Okay, what you don't want is this. You don't want that. Okay, you also don't want it where you can't pull it anymore. That's too tight. You want to be able to have it where it's tight enough that you can move the elastic around to get your books out. Okay, and the best way to do it is you can cut your elastic a little bit longer than normal. Then when you wrap it around, if it's too loose, you can always take it off and then re-knot it and then trim the edge. Okay. All right, so that's going to be around there. So that's the second piece. Then the third piece is what we're going to use for in here. And the third piece, okay, the stitches in here, is about 1 inch shorter than the one that you used to wrap around here. Okay, it's about 1 inch shorter. Alrighty. So that's going to be the first one that we're going to do. Alright. So I'm going to come here. So this is the shorter piece. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through here. And the hole sometimes will end up closing up on you because it is fabric. So if that happens, just put a pencil or put your awl back through. So we're going to, let me get one that's already done just so I can show you what we're doing. So what we're doing is we're going to be threading the elastic in underneath, out, in, out, and then we're going to tie them together. Okay? So we're going, this is the inside. So you're going in, then back through to the inside. Okay? All the way down. I'm just noticing, I think this is bigger than that. It doesn't matter. Through. And through. Now this is not, it's closed up. So what do? He's going to make it a little bit bigger. This stuff is really good. It doesn't tear. It doesn't tear. There we go. Hey. All right. So that's what you end up with. Okay. Now, if you want to just double check the length, you can put your signature back in there, and you can go like this. And yeah, it's actually pretty good. We'll hold it nice and snug. I'm going to show you if I can find it. Yeah, I'm going to show you what I did here as a little extra something. So you're going to take this now, and you're going to fold this a little bit, okay? And you're going to take those, and you're just going to simply make a knot. The knot that you wrap around. I don't know what this is called. There's an actual name for this type of knot. You wouldn't know that I was in Girl Guides when I was little, right? Okay. And make it nice and tight. What is it? That's not a square knot. It's what I call it just a knot, an easy knot. Okay. And you can leave that little tail there. Just don't cut it too short. That's that one. Next one. You're going to take the next one, okay, which is the one that we took and measured around the two books. You're going to take that now, and you're just going to knot them together. Same thing. You're just going to wrap it around and just make an easy peasy knot. Okay. And if you're not sure about the length, just make the knot a little bit bigger, because you can always, if it's too loose, you can always make a knot even tighter, then just trim off the edge excess. And all you're going to do is just fit the elastic around here. And it's exactly what I did. It's too big. Okay, that's too much give. Okay, so let's make it a bit tighter. Okay, so I'm not going to undo this. I'm just going to make another knot. And I'm going to say right about there. Okay, I'll trim that off. Put the books together. Now this method is best with thicker paper. But so if you want to use something like drawing paper, I'm going to show you something that you can do. Same thing, but just we're going to put covers on it. Okay. So that fits nicely. Okay, so we're going to take that off. So that's that elastic. Put that aside. And then the final elastic is for what's going to go around the book. So I don't want to assemble it right now because we measured this going around the signature. We need to measure this going around the entire book when it's finished. So we're going to leave that to the end. So take your one signature. And this can be a little bit cumbersome until you get used to how to handle it. So all I'm going to do is just put my hand in here, and I'm just going to fit that through here like so. Okay. Now for these ones here, you're going to fold this one. You're going to take your one signature, put it here. Your other signature, put it here. You're going to take that elastic and you're going to wrap it around. Now, don't do it this way, because I did that the first time the elastic came out and smacked me right in the face. There you go. I could probably even make this a little bit tighter. We're done. That's it. That's it. There you go. So now you have a journal that actually will lay flat, and you can remove the signatures, change them up. In all time, once you've done one, it only takes about 5 minutes. The longest time it takes is to fold this stuff. The stitching takes a bit of time, and to me, this takes the longest. Okay. So now I'm going to wrap. Now, if you don't want to wrap around, okay, trim that down. Okay, trim it down. And now I made mine a little bit longer here because I know for a fact that the next sets of papers I may add to this will be a little bit thicker. So I'm leaving that with a little bit of a flap. Okay, so I'm going to take that, fold that over like so, take my elastic, and I'm going to get an estimate of as to where I have to make a knot. Again, with this, you don't want to make it so tight. So I'm thinking right about here. It has a lot of give. This is a very forgiving way to bind your journals. Okay. Oh shoot! Don't knot it yet. See, I'm being a smarty pants. And now I'm going to waste your precious time while you watch me knot this because I'm too lazy to turn the camera off. I'm getting cynical in my old age, aren't I? What you're going to do now is you're going to take the elastic, fold it in half, and I'm going to repunch that little hole in the middle. Not repunch, I'm just going to make it a little bit wider. Okay? And you're going to feed that through. And if the elastic you're using just doesn't fit through, you may want to go from the outside, put one in, then the other one in. Or if you have like something that threads a massive needle, you can use that. And make sure you don't pull it all the way through. And you can put like a charm on the inside, so you know, or on the outside as well. I'm going to show you one that I did. It always happens where it's the last thing I have to do and it gives me the hardest time. There we go. Here we are. You put that through. Okay. And actually, let me just trim this down. What you would actually want to do is trim that down. If you've done some sizing like I did on here, like the fabric stiffener, you want to put some more fabric stiffener on here or so it doesn't fray. I like the fraying, to be honest with you. Okay. There we go. So that's that. So there's your nice spine. Wrap around like so. That's it. Okay. Now I want to show you this one. Is it this one? Yeah, this one here. I want to show you this one. So this one here, okay, is one that I did the multiple elastics, and so you would follow the same. You can see as I start taking it out, we get to. You would not normally really take them all out like this at once. I just want to demonstrate how you do the stitching. Okay. All right, so that's what it is. And all I did was when I measured the first one, looked like this, then I just went a little bit over, and what you can get a good size by taking that and then going like this and then just marking where you want them to be. Okay? Then to assemble them, you're going to, the first one's always the one that's the most difficult. Okay? And then you get that one lined up, and then it'll, because you've got all those elastics that are pulling together. Okay? And this is only, I think this is only 90-pound paper. It's very light. So I'm just going to put these like this. And the elastics are not tight enough because I'm not going to end up using this paper because I don't like it. This is for demonstration. Whoops. Purposes only. There we go. Once you get that in there, you just have to stretch it out once and everything falls into place. Now, I size these a little bit wider to allow me, if I wanted to, I can put extra elastics inside. But the way that we did the elastic, okay, even with the one that we just did, you have a smaller piece that you can use for a smaller journal. So you can put different sizes in here. So I can take this little one, and I can take that, and I can put that one in here. Okay, and I can take the other one, so on and so forth. Okay, see, it's expandable. With the regular booklets that we made, we just took the paper and folded it over, right? With these ones here, I put them through a hole punch and punch a half hole. It helps with the elastic. Okay, it helps hold the elastic. It is a bit tedious to do that. You don't have to do it, but it does help. And with this paper, because it's so flimsy, it really does help with that. Okay, so let me just grab these back out. Actually, I'm going to leave them back in because this is no good. There we go. So I still have room, because the way I measured them out, I still have room that I can fit. I can fit one more here. I can fit this still. 1, 2, 2. 2 more. I can fit 2 more books in there. And wrap them around. There we go. So that is the Midori style book. And I said I made it like this big. It is huge. And if you want to save some time on the art a day, if you have backgrounds that are already painted, like scrap papers, let's say you're doing some jelly printing, mono printing, you know, experimenting with watercolors, don't throw those papers out. Put them in a journal. Okay, that way you can use it up. All right. So that takes care of that. So I hope that this gives you some ideas that you can pick at to create a book, and you can create these as big or as small as you want. I do have a bunch of these little pieces done, and this actually, I may take one set and create a Midori style with these here just to see what it would be like. Problem is with these papers, because they're so thick, the smaller they are, the stiffer they are, which is why if you take the 9x12, fold it in half, that makes for a really good sized journal. In saying that, you do not have to use a journal for the 365 Art a Day project. You can paint whatever you want. If you're not a painter, you're a drawer, you're a sketcher, you're colored pencils, you paint on clothes, you do macrame jewelry, it doesn't matter. It's a piece of art. All we're doing is take 15 minutes to make a piece of art. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm a painter. I make jewelry. What else do I do? I make dog cookies. That's an art form in itself, right? I make artisan bread. So to make a piece of art, and it doesn't matter how you do it, just if you can take a picture, that's ideally what you want to do. Okay, so that takes care of that, and I will be doing another video to show you how to do the Coptic stitch for these small books, but I do have videos already done on the Coptic stitch, so you don't need to worry about missing anything. And I do want to show you with the mixing of papers. I don't think I did it in this one. It's in one of these. It's in one of these. Oh, here we go. So this is the scraps of fluid watercolor paper. And then we have mixed media paper. A different brand of mixed media paper. Another brand of hot press paper. This is 300-pound watercolor paper. This is 300-pound of a different brand of watercolor paper. And the fluid paper. I wanted to show you the Stonehenge paper. I guess I'll have to show you in the other video that I do. I want to show you the Stonehenge. But anyways, so there you go. So this makes for a really nice size to create your art pieces. Oh, that was the other thing. If you want to do it, I know that that Donna's doing hers, I think at the ATCs. What you can do if you're want to do a journal to hold these you want to do it this size to hold your ATCs. To think of your signature with a fold. So you're going to make your paper big enough, and you can make a fold, and then fold that. The proportions are wrong, but that could be your signature. And that way, when you create your books, then your ATC can fit inside, and then you're stuck with what to do on this back panel. You can leave that blank. Let's say if you want to paint it, or you can glue the two, back to back, so you have a pocket on each. I'd have to find it. I did an actual set of videos on. I made a whole bunch of little file folders, decorated covers for ATCs, and I don't know where. I don't think I did a video on it. I don't know where it is, but that would make an idea, a journal to hold these. Or if you have the ARC binding system, which is a system developed by Staples, where it's all on discs, you can use something like that to make your little thing, and you can put your ATCs in on the discs. So anyways, that's it. So I hope you can pull some ideas from this to make your journal. And now I have to fix up the video, or render up the video. And I know that at one part, the microphone system that I have on the side, the SD card got full. So part of the video is going to be the actual camera audio, and not the fancy schmancy microphone system that I have now. So just giving you an end warning. All right. Anyways, I'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed this.